have I
that
cut off
digital
lots
delay.
of starts?
No, you both.
Oh, I've actually got someone counting me in today, which I'm going, are you sure? Are you sure? Because we normally go off that clock. Does that mean that I normally start too early because I go off that clock there?
Yeah, like
Do
go
I?
10 seconds too before.
Oh, I'm 10 seconds too soon. I mean, what gems of knowledge you could have missed in those 10
Exactly.
seconds. Probably just me trying to find my glasses, to be fair. Oh, they're on my head. Good morning. How are you? We've got a team today, actually here, all sitting in odd corners because we're still trying to distance, which is fabulous. So yeah, that was Josh counting us in. Are you well? In one of my many, this is the new fun game of
Find the cloth.
find the cloth, because Captain Small has taken to playing with my eyes.
There's another one down here.
Oh, they're everywhere, Jane.
Underneath that.
They're everywhere.
Butterfly fabric down there. There's another
Butterfly
one.
fabric. Oh, I'll find it in a minute. Are you okay? I tell you what, I've probably got one over there as well. They're all over the place. Tell you what's going on this morning. I was organised and now I'm not. Let me find you on here. For those of you that will be carrying on wearing masks and the like, two things to tell you. Firstly, our smarts are on a special order. It's a special offer. It's the last of them. And when they're gone, they're gone. So if you want to grab yourself an absolute bargain, and I do mean an absolute bargain, they are on a clearance price. SJ was actually quite upset to put them at that price, but they don't owe us anything now.
No.
They can, you guys can benefit, have the fabric, enjoy them, wear them just as a scarf. That's the other thing. So, yes. The crochet kit, Emily stole the mouse.
Did she? I didn't
Elliot
think
Mouse.
it would be long.
No, she had him. He went yesterday, and she was clutching him. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, look, there's me on the delay. I feel like my own daughter. Mummy, you talk too much. Who have we got with us today? Oh, someone sent us some stars. Sarah, thank you very much. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Kirsty. Much sunnier today in Wellingborough. Yep. Ali G, good morning. And Leanne and your mum. Good morning. Who else have we got? We've got Pam and Jenny and Heather and Jane. Good morning. And Deborah. Hello. And Marcia. Good morning. And Claire as well. Managed to lose several inches off waist and hips. Oh.
Well done.
Well done.
Yeah.
I think I
We
found
could do
them.
that. We've got yours.
One big meal a day and no snacks. Oh, that's us out. We've already eaten cake this morning.
Yeah. Well, we had to do it. It was.
Oh yeah. So
could
Freddie's
not.
school has asked them to do 100 things in memory of Captain Tom, and the money goes to some sort of
Captain Tom's charity,
Yeah.
isn't it? That then gets,
So Freddie, of course, has the great idea of 100 cakes. So yeah, last night, I say he baked 100 cakes. It would be fairer to say he pressed a few buttons, mixed stuff, and then wandered off.
It'd be right for a 7-year-old boy.
Who baked? Yeah. And then he tried to do the icing this morning after he'd let the ducks out. And I'm like, have you actually washed your hands? No. So you're not actually going anywhere near that icing. So they're safe. That's all I can say. They're safe. Yeah. Jane looks slightly relieved, having eaten one. I always think, it's safer just to... The thought was there. He pressed some buttons. It's fine. But to counteract it, he's got to do 100 power plate minutes.
Wow.
That's the idea. Hello. Oh, more fabric. Fabulous. Yes. Nana Cuddles, says Joe.
Is that one with no letter on?
Oh, yes. You introduced Tilly to Natasha Makes.
No, we haven't.
We do love a good baby fabric.
Sorry,
Baby
the
for
space.
fabrics.
No,
Perfect. It's all right. I'm a bit distracted. Gemma's coming in with lots of things. And she shut her fingernail in the door, didn't she, this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Not our door. Didn't have to go in the accident book. In her own car door. She's not okay. She sent me a photo of it. I felt a bit sick.
It's one of those
I wasn't
ones.
expecting it. I
No.
wasn't expecting to see that. Oh, Claire's making some new trousers. I need new trousers, but not because I've lost any weight. The opposite reason. Good morning, Alison Fraser as well. Everyone's watching. Good morning, good morning. Right, so we've got quite a lot going on today. First of all, can I just say, can we just enjoy the quilt that is Imperial House 2? So this is a Lisa Chandler design by Lisa Chandler, using Lisa Chandler's beautiful Imperial House fabrics. They are a bit gorgeous, aren't they, Jane?
They are, and they're lovely to work with.
Right, now let's talk about quilting very, very quickly. We did not quilt this. We did not.
No.
Who did?
My lovely friend Amanda at the Quilt House, Little Quilt House.
Because she's Amanda Little, isn't she?
Yes.
So it's the Little Quilt House.
Yeah.
And she says that if you want your quilts quilting and you mention Natasha Makes, she will give you a discount. Can't say further than that, can you?
No, I thought it was very nice of her.
Oh, that was very nice of her as well. You will notice us wearing these, which apparently aren't planets. I thought it was a planet. It's not, it's a mask.
It's a mask.
Josh made these, and he said he's got a few left, and all the profits go to the NHS. So he's supporting his NHS, our NHS. His girlfriend's a nurse, so I think it's a lovely thing to do. Yeah. And this says stay positive, test negative. So if you'd like those, they are on his website, which is McLean hang on, let me get this right. MCLEAN, McLean Design. No S on the end. I always think there is. There's not. McLeandesign.co. It's not .com, not .co.uk or anything like that. .co, which confuses.
Yeah, it confused me because I was
Yeah, it
like, Josh, did I
confused
miss
me.
something off the end of
Yeah.
your web
Yeah.
address? And
Yeah.
I was like, no,
No,
that's right.
no, he's just down with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. We're not. We're like,
No.
surely it needs something else. No, it does not. Right, for those of you that did Jane's last block of the month, if you need to top up on any of the fabrics, or maybe you want to patchwork the back, or maybe you're quilting as you go and you want the same fabrics on the back as you do the front, or maybe you just love the fabrics and you want some more, or you want some spare in case, shock horror, you know, you trim your blocks back to 12 inches rather than 12 and a half. Apparently that's a thing that can happen.
It can happen,
I don't know. Then we've got what we have left over of all of the shipments. So they are for sale for you. I think we put them on a pretty good price, didn't we?
I think we have. We haven't got all of the collection. That's the only thing. So we're missing like Fabric B and some of the others, but we've got a little bit of everything.
So let me very quickly spread these out so that you can have a little look. Have a little look. Here they are. So you might recognise them because you've been, you know, working with them. They've all got letters on, but you'll know because you've been working on them. So have a look on the website. Have we put them anywhere in particular? I say are they going on the subscription page because it was part of the subscription?
I really don't know.
That would be sensible, wouldn't it?
Gemma's
Or they'll
department.
probably go on the deal page, I would imagine. I expect we'll have a little head pop round the door. She might stick a funny finger through first and scare us with her crazy finger. Don't think the delay's reached them yet. She hasn't heard all of that. Or she's rising above it. She might be rising
It's very
above
quiet.
It's very quiet. Suspiciously so, Jane, I would
really.
say. Suspiciously so. Are these all different?
Yes.
Oh,
There's a little bit of some and there's a whole bolt of some.
that's
and
nice. Look at this. Here we go.
So even if you like your blues, there's some lovely colours.
There are some. Yeah. No, here we go. Come on, come waggle your dodgy finger at us. Oh, it's that one.
That one as well.
Oh, Gemma! It's the rude finger. She's got I'll.
Only I knew a nail technician to fix
If I, well, that was why I was just like, why are you wafting your finger about? You'll fix it. It bled, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Did it drop off? No.
The Season
There's some pee
fabrics
here.
for now.
Season fabrics for now.
Nice and high on today's collection.
Nice
so
and
that
high
you
on
can find
today's
it,
collections.
And I'll find a lovely permanent.
And
place.
she'll find a nice permanent
Although
place. They're not
no,
going to be here
no,
for that long.
no.
You don't need to find a permanent place. There we go.
I
So
want all of them as well. They're beautiful.
Gemma wants all of them. Oh look, this is a whole new one.
Yeah, whole bolts in that one.
Ooh. Maybe you saw the block of the month and you're like, oh, well, these are rather special. But we couldn't until everything came in and everything was cut. Our maths wasn't good enough, was it, Jane, to work
Not
out
really,
how
no.
much
Which
we'd
is why
have
we've
left.
got a whole bolt of some and only a little bit of another.
It's all right. That's all right. We only have to be good with sewing, not maths.
Yeah.
My time at being good at maths is done.
It does help.
I've lost the ability to math everywhere. There we go. So they are your fabrics. And just take a look. Like I say, you will find them. They're just beautiful blenders, actually, aren't they, in their
Yeah,
own
they are.
right?
I was going to say, if you like your blues and your turquoises, they're lovely fabrics to use.
You might just want to grab yourself a sneaky, cheeky half metre of a few of those. Anywho, let me put that down there. And grab that as well. There we go. All right. Other fabrics to show you today will be... Okay, so if you want to back this quilt, Jane, how much do we need if we're going for a normal standard 44 inch?
You will need 3 metres.
You will need 3 metres, which is 6 unit. What's happened to me today? What's happened? So we found this, which if you're going for the blue option of the quilt today, and I would highly recommend it, then these work beautifully with the blues, and they just look a bit special on the back in the background. And we've put them on a really special price for you. They're blank fabrics. They're gorgeous.
The butterflies particularly sort of mix in. There's dragonflies on the front fabric, so I thought butterflies would work. And they're similar colourway blue, so yeah, they'd look nice.
Or you might just love blue.
Yeah.
In which case, again, it's feeling a bit blue today, but not that sort of blue.
Not that sort of blue.
A kind of like, hooray, sort of blue. If you want to go for... Oh, hang on. What's this one for?
Well, we're doing the red option as well.
Oh, yeah, we've got the red option.
I thought that lovely linen texture would look beautiful on the back.
This is the one that we had with the
Highland
Lock cows.
Lock Lewis.
Lock Lewis cows. So again, if you want that, these will all be under today's show on the website. There you go.
Lovely.
Fabulous. And then, but you know how we are waiting for the Moda Grunge extra wide 108s to come in?
Yeah.
For those of you that missed out for backing your Rock of the Month quilts. Well, what I've done is in the meantime, for those of you that can't wait for those, or don't want to wait, or just need it done, maybe you've promised it to a friend or something, then I've got you this beautiful blue batik extra wide, and that's gorgeous.
Perfect.
It's really beautiful. So that is 108. How much would they need?
2 metres of the extra wide
2
for
metres
the Look of the Month.
wide. There you go, and you'll have loads left over because of the width of it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an option for you. I think that
That's
works
stunning.
out.
That's
It's
just
really
gorgeous
beautiful, isn't it?
fabric, and it mirrors the colours in the Sea Storm quilt beautifully.
Which is why I got it. And if we need more, because loads of you go for it, I can get more.
Lovely.
That's the thing. I am trying.
We're trying to have a good stock, aren't we?
I mean, I could just stop at I'm trying, and some would agree. I know. What I'm trying to do is, because so many of the American brands are taking so long to get to us, and well, it's like I need to apologise to anyone that bought the card builders, the card builder blocks.
Yeah.
They've put them on another delay. They were meant to have been here weeks ago.
Oh, it's a shame.
And then as soon as we sold a whole load, they went, oh no, well, they'll be on a delayed now. Oh, come on. And now they've delayed them again. So I am really sorry. And if you don't want to wait, we will refund, of course. But if you are happy to wait, as soon as they come into this country, you will be the first to have them. They just never told us that they were going to be delayed to start off with. And then obviously it's not their fault, they've been delayed again. So it's the same story, isn't it? We're just getting used to hearing it, and it's an absolute pain, and it doesn't help anyone. So apologies. Jane, I just loved this.
I just love this. I was just like, do you have to sell it? Can't I have it all?
When you start noticing every single quilt that we do on a Wednesday backed in this, you know that Jane got her own way and we didn't sell it. It's kind of a damask-y, purpley, I mean, it's beautiful.
It's stunning. It
And
really is.
108 again. So when I say 108, that's the width of it. It's 108 inches, not centimeters, inches. So that's 270 approximately centimeters across. So it is a bit gorgeous. And again, you see that's gonna look pretty beautiful on the back if you wanted in the back of your Sea Storm as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't go amiss. And the beauty of that fabric is you could practice your quilting with that. If you put that on the back and quilt it from the back, you get a beautiful design on the front.
I think that's a lovely idea. And
Yeah.
and so this is almost like a learner free motion quilting.
Yeah, just buy a
backing.
piece and have it as a whole quilt. Just have the piece of
Oh,
that
there
on
you
the
go.
front with some calico on the back and use it to practice your quilting on. What am I doing? I'm selling it. I don't want you to buy it.
I can get more.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
So
I can imagine it. It's just lovely.
It is stunning. So that's what I'm trying to do, because I get it. We are as frustrated as you are. There are certain brands that only come in from America. And so there are certain brands that we have to wait for. But where I can, I'm trying to source more locally for you, because it's become a bit of a thing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone
reminds-
you talk to, oh.
Yeah, you'll have trouble. It reminds me of that game, What's the Time, Mr. Wolf? Can you remember? And you've got people creeping up behind you, and then you turn around and they'd be all still. And I think, we know it's coming.
We do,
You just
we do.
can't get it.
Every time we think we're close to getting fabric, it stops. However, there's a fabric shortage. Do you want to see your half meters? Okay, so half meter heavens go live tonight, midnight, and we've got, well, okay, so this is the last of the Moda Grunge sale price, where you get Moda Grunge and your super duper fabric, designer fabric, that's the word I want, for $9.99. If we do go forward using the new Moda that's just arrived, it will have to be something like $11.99 for the two. So you are and even that will be a special price. It really will.
Yeah.
So this is basically end of sort of one of these will be the end of something.
Yes.
Let's put this here. I love this. This is Art Gallery fabric. This is Forget Me Not. And I love the greens. But here, this is going with, what have I got? Apple Blossom. There we go. With the
Yeah, there's one with apple blossom, and then we did
and then a
with the green.
zesty apple. Is
Yeah.
the green.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes. So I've got five with one, 5 with the other. But again, I think we can all agree it's picking out those pinks absolutely beautifully. I'm going to whiz through these because I'm very aware. Otherwise, I chat for ages and then Jane runs out of time. And then this is your zesty apple. It picks out all the greens that are in. Okay, so you know
Put
I
the
said I
two
wasn't going to
together
do it.
because they just look absolutely amazing.
So you've got those. You can see how it picks out all those different greens, because there are quite a few different greens in here. And then, so what I've noticed a lot of you doing is when we do things like this, where we do different colourways, is that you'll buy them both, because that is 2 meters of fabric and that's effectively a quilt.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to like stitch it, but
Yeah.
effectively that is a quilt with
But
2
if you just did
coordinating
a full
planes.
patch like that,
Stunning, right?
make a beautiful quilt. Absolutely
Stunning.
gorgeous.
So, and because, you know, the green works with the pink, it all works. So you've got that choice. There are only 5 of each. That's all we had. And off we jolly well pop with that. Now, this one is your Dina Designs Palm Trees. We do love the palm trees. And what we've put with it is the Moda Grunge Mango. It's slightly darker. You're never going to match this colour, I don't think,
No,
completely.
it's a unique colour,
So-
but it brings us a lot of colours in the Moda that pull out the other colours.
So what we wanted to do, there's your Moda there, is exactly what Jane said. Pull out those other colours. So you do have that colour in there. It is in there. But then you've also got that deeper colour, which is through here.
And there's a little bit of blue in that
There is.
Moda that just pulls out that little bit of blue
Yeah,
that's
just-
in the...
It's difficult
fabric.
to see, but it is in there and it is in there. So we felt that was really lovely. Sometimes it's not about going matchy-matchy. It's going a
No,
shade
it's
deeper.
a compliment, and it
but
really does
it is in
complement
there.
the fabric.
So this is why, and this is the other thing. We were saying this morning, for those of you that haven't tried Moda Grunge, you just give it a go because the quality is there. It's made of fabric, it's beautiful. And you've also got all those different shades in there as well,
Yeah.
which is just stunning. So that is all excellent. I've just realised I forgot to bring the dogs in, and Maud's in season and is not very nice when Margot comes home, and I wonder if someone might pop her in for me. Gemma, please. Because otherwise she'll be mean to poor Margot.
Oh, poor Margot.
I know, she doesn't deserve it, does she? Now this, look at this. Look at this. This is by Sally Kelly. And it's rather beautiful. And we've put it with the Mode of Grunge, and I'm on the wrong screen. There you go.
That's better.
Oh, hello. Is that my husband home? We could ask him, couldn't we?
Gemma will ask him, won't she?
Do you think? I hope so. Sorry, it's all the bits of actual life, isn't it? Happens. I've completely forgot to bring her in again, so she's out playing in the garden. So this just complements that. You've got your stars in here. You're seeing stars. Love, love, love this. I think Jess made a hat out of some of the Sally Kelly fabrics that we had. Oh, wrong one.
That's lovely. That's really nice. You can imagine a bag with that and that stars as the lining.
Just lovely.
Bit of cork, bit of quilted PU. Very nice.
But I mean, you've practically designed it. And then I had just one of these.
Look at that. That is stunning.
I know. And look, you've got it. And it picks out and makes it look gold. So this is it. And then again, you know, if you were to go and make a quilt or something out of that, how beautiful is that?
It's just look beautiful. Really is lovely.
But only one of you could do that combo. Now, here we go. This was another winner. Mode of Grunge. And yes, I went there with Liberty fabric.
It's beautiful. It's very pretty. Love it.
Really pretty. So that's that one. And we've got two of those. Like I say, you know, this is, and again, so, now, ooh. We've stopped selling these as half meters, but we had 3 half meters that had already been cut. But then we put them, I would never have thought of putting Mode of Grunge with it, but it looks stunning. And so I've got, I think, 2 in that shade, and then there was one other, wasn't there, Jane? Oh, it was this one. And I've only got one. But just look at that.
You could have real fun fussy cutting the border fabric.
And the greens are in there, I mean, it just, wow, beautiful, beautiful. So again, you know, it might be, look at that.
That's stunning.
Just stunning. When you see this close to, it picks out the darker colours through there, and it works so beautifully.
It's so difficult to photograph the grunge, isn't it?
It's really hard.
Even on the camera, it doesn't pick up the shading and the
nuances.
So subtle,
yeah,
so subtle. Some of the shading, it's amazing.
I've got 4 of these.
Natasha showed me this morning. I was like, oh gosh,
yes, yes, absolutely yes. You've got greens in here, purples in here. Basically, all the colours that are in there, and it just had to happen. I've got 4. That is it. That is it. Yeah, so I kind of feel like this is giving you a good idea of what the Mode of Grunges are like, so that you can love them. They're one of my favourite blenders ever.
Really lovely.
This is an Anna Maria Hornet. Now this is another one, case in point. It's got those darker colours. It's got all of those coming through. Really beautiful. Picks out the pink in there. But here's your colour situation, right? Because look what happens when we put it with this grunge, and how it brings out all of these different colours instead. Same fabric, completely different effect. But again, if you wanted to do some of your quilts,
beautiful.
Just lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just lovely. I've got to put this with, that's the one with the blush, that's the one with the mango. There we go. Now, this is the last of the blush in here. I want to show you this because what grunge does for me is it makes fabric feel more modern. So in there you can see you've got purples and pinks and a deep red in there actually. Now if I pop this here, can you see it pulls out the blues because you've got it in your sort of purpley bluey bits there. The blush is absolutely spot on, and then these deeper reddy bits pull out the deeper reddy bits around there, and all of a sudden this fabric that was based on the fabrics that were there for Jane Austen, and this is called Fanny, I can't do anything about the name.
No.
And we titter every time because we're children. This suddenly makes this look modern.
It does,
It's
yeah,
really
it
weird.
Pulls it up and it's lovely.
And again, it's hard to show on the camera. You can just see like little patches like this starting to pull the blue out there. But when you see it close to, it's really gorgeous.
It works beautifully with it.
Really gorgeous. Again, we're quite limited in those numbers as well. But it just, it was just sitting there next to it and I was like, hey up. I'm not northern, but I was, hey up, what's going on there? Now, I've got one of these. It's the exotic stripe from Cave.
Beautiful.
I can't even remember what colour it is because it's not on it, but the bolts are long gone. But I've got 1/2 metre of it. Yes, yes, yes. Because it's almost like that was going to ombre into that shade.
It just, perfect.
Thank you, Jane. Perfect. One of them. But I've got 4 of these. Now, again, a Cave beautiful woven stripe. Again, how earthy. I'm surprised that Inga's even let us bring these on and she hasn't whipped them all home for herself. Because being a lovely earthy gardener sort,
Yes.
these are just
She
her
loves the
tones.
autumnal tones, doesn't she?
She does, but look at that. I mean, that is a match. And again, just beautiful. Beautiful. But again, only got 4. Now this little chap, we've got 3 of these. And this is, it's called Lugu or something. But anyway, it's the owls. Owls. But
Lovely
again,
that fabric is.
it's stunning. Art gallery fabric.
Yeah,
So you know
beautiful.
it's going to feel phenomenal because of the quality of the cotton. So you've got the owl there. But in this mode of grunge, you've got like these ochres coming through, which are just, it's that. And it's like, that's the darker colour of the owl's face and that's the lighter. I was like, well, this is me.
Meant to be.
What? Then you've got your moon and then you've got your stars.
Exactly.
I mean, it's such a beautiful marry up of fabric. I high-fived myself, Jane, I'm not going to lie.
Well deserved
I
high
know, right? No, nothing like a bit of self-congratulation.
Why not?
But,
your
you know,
time of the morning when you're working, there's no one else to high-five
there was nobody
you.
else to high-five me. No, absolutely. Again, look, this colour's actually in the selvage. I adore this. I want bags and
That
goodness
really
knows
makes
what.
those pink flowers. Are they roses or peonies?
I-
It makes them really pop, doesn't it?
really does.
It's
It
just
really does.
gorgeous.
In fact, you know the little the little wristlet bags that we had the pattern for.
Yeah,
You know, the Sally Tomato download.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, right.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. So you're either going with these because you love both the fabrics, or you know that the value is phenomenal, or you've got an idea for gifting for someone or something. Oh, now this is a Cave, and I found one of our salt batiks.
Ooh,
How beautiful does that
nice.
look? It sort of picks out this bit, which I hadn't expected, and I've got it upside down, so apologies. I've got 5 and that's it.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
Fabric.
It's beautiful. But then that's that fabric gone. Gone. And then now this one. This is from Blank as well. I'm starting to rather like Blank fabrics.
They are rather nice.
Yeah. Now I have put a linen texture with this. Let me just show you this linen texture here. Yeah.
That's beautiful fabric, isn't it?
Again, not going for what's exactly the same,
It complements it beautifully.
but finding the textures and finding the colours that are going to just go, oh, hey, yeah, no, I'll sit with you and we'll look a bit gorgeous together. got 6 of those, and that's that. Now. Brand new to us, KFC. That's K Facet Collective, not Bucket of Chicken.
Thank goodness.
Always gets confusing. This is one of my favourites.
I just love that. The colours in there are
The colour, the
amazing.
movement, everything. This is Brandon's Barley Brocade. And I absolutely adore it. In fact, I was very tempted to not sell it and to just have this as just the most amazing sashing round a quilt.
Mm-hmm. You could use that sort of fabric as a quilt top.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, absolutely.
have it as a top and have fun with the quilting on it.
And just beautiful. So I picked out the blue. I picked out the sky blue with those because yes.
Nice.
Oh, I keep getting wafts of the rose sandal, the rose buckwheat.
Yeah.
Smells rather gorgeous. And oh yeah, this now again. This one. This is another Art Gallery Fabrics. Feels beautiful. This is all your musical instruments. This is Calypso Coral. And is perfect because this has got it's almost a brown actually, isn't it? In there,
it's like milk chocolate colour.
Yeah, but orangey.
Yeah,
And again, this has got your orange in, and it's got that pink in, and it just pulls it all together. And this bluey purpley colour, yeah. But again, only a handful of these. So I know it looks like we've got quite a lot going live at midnight tonight. And the place to find them is www.natashamakes.com and find them there. Oh, I have got not very many of these. I forgot to write down how many. This is Melissa White. I love Melissa White. There've been quite a few occasions when we've had her fabrics on and people have gone, oh, is that Kate?
yeah, you could understand it.
And I think that she has been heavily influenced, and I do think they know each other. I don't think I'm making that up because I think I have said to him in the past, Melissa White, and he's gone, yeah, lovely woman, but doesn't this look beautiful with that?
It's got all the colours in, hasn't it?
All the colours, Jane, all the colours. Look, you've got all of this in there and that and that. Again, stunning, beautiful. It's called Treetops, and it's lovely. Lovely, lovely. A couple more to go. This again is another one from Blank Fabrics. Ha! Yes, with the Moda Grunge in the green. I mean, yes. Right? Yes.
Beautiful.
This is a larger version of, and a different colourway of, but the same sort of design from same range as that one. So again, you might be going, well, actually, do you know what? I might pull those because that works beautifully with that as well.
Yeah.
Because you've got all of those shades. The flowers are the same colours, so that all works. They've all got green. I could mix those up very, very happily. So this is what we want to bring you, is your opportunity for you to buy fabrics that you know are going to work, are going to complement. And if you buy from the same range, because there'll be a couple in there from the same range, then you've got a quilt. You've got fabric for a quilt. And have a look at some of Jane's past designs, because you'll find you know your 9-patch and things like that.
Yeah, the disappearing
Just stunning.
9-patch and the split 9, the elongated 9-patch work beautifully.
Would be perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Works with your half-metre heavens.
Paisley Jungle,
Nice.
and I picked out the pink, and all of a sudden the whole thing softened. Just love
But
it.
look how it makes those limey greens pop.
I know, right? It's
It's
just
amazing how
colour
colours work together.
is so clever. So yeah, that's your Paisley Jungle, and then the Coleus.
Go.
I love the Coleus.
And you've put it with a hot pink.
I did, because it would have been rude not to.
Is that pomegranate or raspberry?
It's pomegranate. Yeah, no, it's pomegranate.
Look at that.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, yeah.
Stunning.
Sometimes just yes, Jane, just yes. So can you just, if you are enjoying the Modas with your half-metre heavens, and if going forwards with the new batch that's just come through, if you'd be happy to pay, you know, $11.99 rather than $9.99, because they are far more expensive fabrics.
That's still a very good.
It's still a great. You are still, yeah, you're still getting well, you're basically getting a metre of designer fabric, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you'd be happy to do that, then I will continue to bring, of course, bring our plains with a designer anyway. But if you want me to throw in a few each week,
I think that's a nice idea. It gives people a bit, because sometimes mixing a bit of plain with your mode of grunge as well as a pattern fabric is a nice thing to
is
do.
another nice thing to do. Yeah. I tried all sorts of colours with this, Jane,
But black just brings out the dramatic.
and then just went.
Whoosh. Look at that, it's like splodge of colour.
No.
Love it.
This is a Philip Jacobs. This is your Japanese chrysanthemum. Yeah, that.
Nobody can say chrysanthemum.
This is what my makeup bag's made out of.
Oh
wow! But you know we have the PU.
Yes.
I did it with one of the PUs. I picked out I think it was the copper PU.
Oh, I bet that looks lovely.
Yeah, looks lush, really lush. So that's my own personal one, and it's taken me nearly a year to get that fabric back in stock. So, you know, if you see it, you might want to grab it because stuff's taking a while, not going to lie.
There's got a big pile of half meter heavens.
Going round in circles. For those of you that missed yesterday's shows, and I also wanted to show Josh, this is what we made. And yeah, so with the ribbons, lots of you going for the ribbons. Let me show you this just to recap from yesterday. So there we go. It is either a technology pouch or a fabulous. Oh, you see, that was out of the paper. That's out of your sewable paper.
I love that. I love that crinkly texture to that. It just, I don't know what
Yeah,
it
for goodness
is.
sakes, don't iron
It
it.
looks really luxurious.
It's like old parchment, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's fab stuff. Just really different. Loving that. Or maybe out of the cork. Don't know how much of the cork we've got left. But that's with your Lewis and Irene that we had on Monday and your cork. Very
Beautiful.
manly. We were doing Father's Day based shenanigans. There we go. That's what we've done this week. Da-da-dum. Stay there. Jane is going to do beautiful this. You might have had some of this fan fabric and wondered, what do I do with it? Because it's such a big print. This is what it was designed to do.
It's
This.
a perfect pattern for a big print. If you've got some fabric in your stash and you've got a beautiful fabric and you don't want to cut into it because you know if you cut into it, you're going to lose the effect of the big pattern. That pattern is perfect.
So you've got two things at play here. Firstly, you've got the Lisa Chandler fabrics,
Yeah.
which I have to say, now we're starting
Any
to
of
have...
Lisa's big
Yeah.
fabrics
Oh,
would work
yeah.
with that.
But now we're starting to have fabric reps back in. They've all got an eye on Lisa's fabrics. Like, who is that?
Yeah.
Because we're the main person with it in the UK.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Like, I had one say, I've not seen anything that has excited me like that
Yeah.
in at least three or 4 years.
Mm.
Which, you know,
They see a lot of fabric.
yeah, they do see a lot of fabric, which was interesting given that they were trying to sell me fabric.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, you see why I am passing up these fabrics, because I look at this all day.
Yeah.
And it's just really stunning. But equally, you've got Lisa's fabrics at play there, but also think about using that quilt design as a window for things like, well, for case in point, could you imagine?
Yeah, nice bit of that.
In one of those windows, having that and then bringing through blacks and golds and
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. It just allows you to play. So I'm going to leave you with Jane to play. I'm going to go I'm not going out, I'm just going to sit there. That's it. And I'll say a little hello while Jane gets herself all sorted. I'm going to take my stinky...
Well, it smells beautiful.
It does smell beautiful. I didn't show
With
everyone
wasps.
actually. Do you want to show everyone?
Yeah. Look at it. It's just so simple. Plain fabric. And look at the ribbon. I love the panda ribbon.
Oh, this, yeah,
Look
so
at
this
that.
was the ribbon. This was the, do you want to show it on a close-up,
Let's
that
go
ribbon?
close up.
Yeah. This was the
Look at
Tula pink,
This is gorgeous.
just black
This is lovely.
and ribbon. Done.
And it's so effective, and that for Father's Day gift. Perfect for him to put his iPad on and watch the football while you're actually watching something else.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. And it
Gourmet.
smells delicious. Oh,
It does
sorry,
smell
it's not
delicious.
delicious.
I need to load up the rest of our buckwheat on
We've got some
our
lovely
system.
smell. I mean, that is rose, but it's a lovely smell. It's a real rich smell. Nice. Okay, got 2 kits. Boom. We've got the beautiful blues, which is called Ming. So you've got quite a big piece of your fan fabric. There's 2.2 metres there, 2.5 yards. The beautiful fans, which is outlined in silver metallic,
Oh, it's stunning.
which, as we've always said with Lisa's metallics, shimmers. There is a shimmer, a glitter, something to these metallics that I've not seen in any other metallic fabric.
You know why it is? It goes on last. It's the quality of the metallic. It's where she places it within the screen print.
Yeah.
And it's ultimately it is the quality. And you've got the shimmer in this fabric as well.
We've got the floral blue and green, which in the pattern is called peonies, but on the bolt end is just called floral, which is
Yeah.
a shame. You've got the blue basket weave, or wicker, sorry, it's called wicker. And then you've got a bit of silver fans,
Pulling out all that silver.
because this has all got the silver metallic in, and then we have a bit of the blossom. And all of these fabrics go into the smaller print, the smaller blocks at the top and the bottom. And I love the way that it's staggered and it's reversible.
It looks like a very expensive screen,
Yes.
doesn't it?
And then we've got, and we've pinched a little bit of the Toscana from the block of the month because we had quite a lot of this one, and we've put that in as the sashing.
Well, and it went.
And it's just
Beautifully.
it's perfect blue
Yeah.
for that. It just brings out, and because it's got that little bit of textured mottle print to it, it's not too heavy, which works with the silvers because this is quite a light colourway, I think, you know, a soft colourway, which is beautiful. Then we've got the lovely red, which is really rich and opulent, I think. It's just amazing.
Are we demoing in the red?
We're demoing in the red.
Nice.
There's dragonflies on this fan print, and that's what inspired me to ask Amanda to do the dragonfly quilting pattern.
So Amanda's little
The little quilt
the
house.
little quilt house, and just mention Natasha makes, and she'll give you a discount.
Look at that.
Wow.
This is beautiful, rich reds, and then opulent gold metallic on there. And as I've said before, it shimmers. It's just amazingly beautiful.
It's a bit gorgeous.
And then you've got the red floral, peonies. Beautiful. Look at the colours in that. And beautiful greens. We've got the red wicker. And then we've got the green fans, and again they've got all this lovely gold metallic in these, which brings it all together. And the red blossom, just stunning. And then we've just gone with a very nice plain black with this one. It just really makes that richness come out of the reds. Beautiful. And that's why I chose the linen texture as a possible backing for this, because you can see that just enhances those reds, and it's got that, because of the linen texture's got that bit of black in it with the binding, because that's all you'll see on the back. That really works with that, I think. Really nice. So as always with Lisa's patterns, they are very concise, to the point, and easy to follow. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
I am going to just go and get moored in because no one has.
Stephen's out there, so yeah, I've just seen him going into the gingerbread house.
I can just hear her howling.
Oh, bless her.
She does not cope with being in season very well.
No. Well, none of us do we? So there's the two colourways that we've got today. You've got the beautiful opulent reds and then the cool and calming blues. As I say, it's Lisa's pattern, Summer Palace, Imperial House 2, the collection, fabric collection is Summer Palace. Very easy to follow, cutting out instructions. She's numbered the pieces, so as you cut them out, it might be an idea to label them yourself, so that you've got an, because there are some that are 3.5 by 4 and some that are 4 by 4. So at first glance, you might not recognise them and it would be easy to put the wrong piece in. And also in the pattern, you've got this effect here where the line follows it through. And that's all down to the clever measurements of pieces that Lisa's worked out.
It's not a long pattern, is it? It's
No.
one of those things that it's that so much thought has gone into this.
Lisa's done all the design work for you
Yeah.
to make it work and make it fit
Yeah.
together beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. So and it truly does. She is such a clever woman when it comes down to
Her
all
designs
of
are
this.
lovely.
And the way that it flows, the way that it steps down and flows, and the same echoes on the bottom part as well, is just truly beautiful. And I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore it. And your face this morning when you whipped it out the bag and
I
went,
was
I
like,
think
"Look
you're
at
gonna like it.
It's lovely. And what I thought was you could make the panels independently and have them hanging like a,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
independent panels.
Wall
Maybe
hang-
add
yeah,
some
yeah,
tassels to the front of them and really go to town with them.
Amazing.
Because I think, you know, and even like maybe do the middle panel and have that as a table runner to coordinate with your quilt,
Beautiful.
or as a bed scarf, or whatever you want to do with it really. It's the sort of pattern that once you've done it, you will see. You could even use like this part here, you know, and make a coordinating cushion, patched cushion to go on the bed with the quilt, or on the chair if you're going to throw it use it as a throw. So I'm going to use the red fabric today, and I'm just going to make that centre panel. Once you've done the cutting, it is such a easy quilt to make, quilt top.
So actually, if you do that centre panel, that's a table runner,
Table
or
runner,
what
a
did you
bed-
call it? A bed cozy
Bed scarf.
or bed scarf.
Yeah, or a throw over. You know, you could put it over the back of your chair, couldn't you? Just
Oh, beautiful! Yeah.
hanging over the back of your chair. So yeah, easy. As I said, all of Lisa's instructions are very straightforward. There's very easy to follow chart, making sure that you've got the right letters against each fabric. She breaks it down beautifully. The sashing, she breaks it down. There's quite a lot of 1.5 inch strips, so if you've got your stripology ruler, well, your
Crack it
stripology
out.
ruler will
do
work
the-
for
yeah.
everything. The biggest one that you're going to piece you're going to have to cut out is from your feature fabric, the fan print.
Yeah.
It is because of, remember, it's directional, so you're cutting it across the length of the fabric. You need to cut, it's 39.5 that piece down, and then 15.5 wide. So cut one width from there, and you will get two widths from the one piece,
Right,
and then you
I'm
need to
with
cut
you.
the third piece. So that's why you've got so much of that fabric, which means you'll have quite a bit left over, which you can patch for your backing.
Well,
Or
you could patch for your backing, or I'm thinking
just
of
make
Quillo.
beautiful cushions with it.
Yeah.
Just make, you know, a piece of this fabric just bound and made into a cushion. Just stunning. It's just beautiful fabric. It really is. And you can have fun fussy cutting this. And actually in the pattern, you do need to fussy cut some 4.5 inch squares. And I found the Itsy Bitsy ruler really helpful with this. So I'm just going to do the 2 fussy cut squares that I need to do for the pattern for this middle section, because for each of the blocks at the top and the bottom you have a fussy cut square in there. So they're 4 inches by 4 inches, but just double check, because some of them it's 5 pieces altogether of the 4 by 4 pieces, which are piece C, and you can see them in where they sit in the pattern. So you can have some fun just fussy cutting those, and just remember when you're fussy cutting your 4-inch square that you just need to make sure that if you want, like I want to have the whole of the dragonfly, just make sure that each side of the dragonfly you've got at least 1/4 inch from the 4-inch part, otherwise you're going to lose a bit in your seam allowance.
Okay.
And you can be quite clever with your cutting so that you don't sort of cut it in the middle of the
I think the thing is, cut
square.
your biggest pieces first.
Yes, definitely cut the biggest pieces first, and if you do it as per the pattern, it's done that way.
Right.
So you won't.
Because otherwise, I'd be likely to just cut
Oh, yeah,
a piece
just-
out of the middle of it and then not have enough.
Yeah, and if you follow the pattern, you won't
Claire
have-
reckons we're going to have to double the size of the warehouse soon. I mean, yes.
There's a possibility.
I can't lie. Yep, probably. Oh, and I can't see. Someone says I've managed to lose weight from a 24, and I can't see the rest of the message. I
Oh.
can't see, but someone's done well.
And what you
Excellent.
can do is you can have fun fussy cutting from the fan shapes as well. So on this one, I'm going to just cut a square so it includes that bit of vase there.
Oh, lots of people saying, yeah. They're happy to have the Moda ones as well, but they want the normal half meter heavens
yes.
as well. We're never going to take away the normal half meter heavens. Absolutely not. Michelle says, I love your colour combos. Oh, thank you. And Michelle says $11.99 is still an excellent price.
It is.
It is.
For designer fabrics,
Yeah.
it is crazy
Yeah.
price.
Yeah, like we say, those ones are basically sale items. And just a little note. So for those of you that bought the designer Lucky Dips, please do note that it is a lucky dip. And so we had someone say they didn't, the fabrics weren't to their taste,
Oh, that's a shame.
but they just wanted something a
Well,
bit
that's what
plainer.
happens with
But
a
it's a
lucky
lucky
dip,
dip,
isn't it? You
yeah.
don't always get what you really like.
But you're getting great
know,
quality fabric, like the quality
make a liner's
is
quilt with it.
unsupported.
Give it away to charity.
Make something
Spread
for you
the
see,
joy.
I think that's the thing with them, isn't it? That you might get a fabric that you've never even thought of before, but actually
Yeah.
fabulous. But otherwise, it's a great opportunity to make and spread the love.
So when you're fussy cutting, if you're not sure how a piece will look, draw around it first. If you think, oh well, I quite like this bit here, and I wonder how that will look in a 4-inch square, draw around it with your pencil marker.
You know what Kate and Brandon do? They cut out of a black piece of card.
Yeah, or
They
get a
cut
piece
the
of
shape.
template plastic and put it over the top and see what it would look like. Remember that you're going to lose some in your seam allowance, so think about that when you're choosing the area that you want to show. I've just said there, but actually maybe I'll move it up a bit, or move it across a little bit so that the actual vase bit is in the middle of the square. Or you might like it further down. You might like the square to have the vase in the bottom corner. That's the seam allowance there, so there's still a bit of the vase at the bottom, and then you'll get most of the tree in. And if you're not sure, by drawing around it, or like I say, get a piece of template plastic and cut your 4-inch square out and just place it over, and you'll be able to see through. You'll be able to know then, you without cutting it and thinking, oh no, I don't like that now, and now I've cut a great big square out of the middle of my fabric. So yeah, just have a play with it, and you can use whichever. I mean, Lisa doesn't stipulate which bit of the fabric you have to use. I went a little bit dragonfly heavy because I love dragonflies, and they just fit perfectly into the 4-inch square, funnily enough.
Well, it's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, that's the hardest part really is that little bit of fussy cutting. The rest of it is very straightforward squares. Just be careful when you're reading it, because some of them are straight inch squares and some of them have the 1/2 inch on. So
Yeah.
just take each one at a
Double
time.
check it.
Take your time with your cutting. That's all I'm going to say with that. I'm just going to plug the iron in.
Oh, Myra, she said, got my badge, Josh. Daughter-in-law is an NHS doctor. Well, we've got to support our NHS, haven't they? They've done phenomenally well.
They've worked so hard.
I'm sure that they were thrilled that everyone clapped, but I'm sure they would have preferred something
a
else.
decent pay rise.
Ooh.
Let's not be political.
Karen says, morning, so many lovely fabrics. Well, you know, we try. Joanna says, look, it looks like I'm going to have to stay up till midnight again. Julia said, I tried that last week, didn't make it.
Oh, dear. You have to have a nap in the afternoon and then take your alarm.
Absolutely. Yeah, it seems to work for my daughter. Laurie said, I had an Aunt Fanny. Well, that's just it. That's the saying, is it?
And
Fanny's your aunt and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, it's a modern term, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
In those days, nobody even...
What was it short for?
Francis, I think. Francesca, Francis.
Because there's things like Elizabeth has lots of different shortened forms, and Margaret has lots of weird and wonderful shortened forms.
Yeah, I had a great aunt Peg, and it took me ages to realise great aunt Peggy, and she was Margaret.
How do you get Peggy from Margaret?
No idea. No idea.
How does that even work?
I know. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely. But yeah. And it's not, you know, you just know people by that name, don't you? And you never think about it. And it's like my grandma was Grandma Jessie. And it took me a long time to work out that Jessie was Jessica.
Yeah.
Just, that was her name.
My granny was on her second marriage, and his name was Derek. And I grew up thinking that everyone had a Granny and Derek. I didn't realise that was his name.
His name.
Like those silly little things that you grow up not realising. I was like, well, who's your Granny and Derek? And people would just look at me like I was weird.
Yeah.
Possibly they still do, but for other reasons now.
For reasons we won't go into.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
So when you're laying out your design, just check that you've got the right pieces. So this is the top piece. We've got a piece. We've got the wicker there. And as I say, when you cut your pieces, just label them. Just stick a bit of, you know, paper or even an ordinary paper with a pin, just to keep you familiar where everything is going to be.
Inga came in the other day with a whole stack of, you know, you can get those. Like, they used to put them next to the telephone. Those paper blocks.
Oh yes, the post-it.
Yeah,
style notes.
She's come in with one of those so that she can leave me messages everywhere. I'm like, oh no. I generally come into messages on my computer. This is looking very beautiful. Jane, I have to ask you something. Could you do a sneaky close-up of that basket fabric?
Yes.
Because it's underrated, so underrated. Look at that.
I don't think even on here you get the texture. There's the shading on that of the wicker is just beautiful, and then you've got the metallic accents on the outside of it as well.
Because if someone had said to me, "There's like a wicker fabric,"
you'd be like, "What?"
I'd be like, "Oh,
okay."
All right then. But it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And look how it sits in there and pulls out the lighter shades.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
You're going to cut, again, you've got your fabric strips, and you need so many of them and a certain length. And again, Lisa gives you the length of them so you can work out, that's the wrong one. You can work out which one you need to go where. And it's just a case of sewing them together in the right order. So your small squares together with your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it takes, you know, it doesn't take long to put it together really.
Oh, so we've just had a message from the crafty purple cat. Do you think they've got an opposable thumb? And that's how they are managed to be crafty.
To be crafty.
Yes. And she's just said, is there any chance of doing like a fat quarter set of the seam store quilt fabrics? Which I'm sure we can do, but my question then is that something that other people are going to want as well?
Yeah,
in which case is that something that we should have...
As we said
it's
before,
not all of them.
We haven't got the whole collection of the fabrics. So
it would be what we have left.
and we wouldn't be able to do that many of them.
But we might be able to do a handful if people are interested. If you press the button for lowering the foot, there you go.
There we are. I do know how to use the machine, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if I've missed any others. Are they the fabrics in the Storm at Sea quote, Natasha? Yes, Geraldine, they were. They were. We yes. We might have, you know, mentioned but not mentioned you.
Bless her. So I've sewn the 2 small squares together with the sashing in between. I'm then going to sew the next one, sash into that. Just move it over slightly.
Oh, Geraldine's been working. That's why it's got in the way.
Oh, a terrible thing called work that you have to do so that you can buy more fabric.
See, Margaret was late this morning because she had a very needy cat.
Oh.
Yeah, due to no one being here all yesterday morning. Oh yeah, she had appointments at the optician, so very overdue that they had been holding my contact lenses hostage for a month. A month! Amazing.
I'm just going to trim that bit of sashing. I obviously cut it generously when I was...
Well, you know, we like a bit of generosity, don't we, Jane?
Well, better generous than too small, that's what I say.
Oh, it's Laurie. I've had to scroll all the way up to the top to find out who it was. It was Laurie. She says, I've managed to lose weight from a 24 dress to a 20. Get in there.
Well
That's
done, Laurie.
amazing,
That's
Laurie.
fantastic. So I've put the sashing on the side of that one. I'm following the layout on the pattern, sashing onto there, and then I'm going to sew those 2 small squares onto that piece of sashing.
It's like a jigsaw.
It is like a jigsaw. And again, you know, it's not a difficult quilt to do. It's just a case of taking your time and following the pattern. It's an easy pattern to follow. You could make this quilt top in a day, really. The cutting's not difficult. It's nice, easy cutting to do. You could definitely have the quilt top done in a day. And if you were confident with your quilting, you could have it quilted and bound in a weekend, I would say.
Wow.
I mean, you wouldn't do anything else. You'd have to get your husband to bring you food. But
I don't think that's a problem.
or just make yourself some sandwiches in the morning. So you've got a packed lunch.
Take away, something like that. Have it delivered. We had...
But if you were going to a quilt retreat, this would be the sort of project you could take with you and do it. You know, it doesn't need too much thinking about once you've got your pieces cut. So you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about concentrating too hard on it.
You know,
While you're chatting to your friends at the retreat and stuff like that. It's just lovely.
You bring things like this along, and I look at that, and of course, the first thing I think is that blue's going to look amazing on my sofa.
Yeah.
And then,
I thought that as I was making it. I thought this will look nice in Natasha's lounge.
yeah, I know, right? And then I get to the situation like, but it won't go in my curtains. And by the time that we finish the show, I've redesigned my sitting room, and I'm trying to work out what fabric to redo the curtains in.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me? I'm blaming you and Lisa.
It's Lisa's fault.
both
She
as
just
bad
brings
as
just
each other.
gorgeous fabrics.
But seriously, what colour should I do my curtains?
I think, you know, a nice oatmeal with maybe a little bit of grey in there. Look lovely. Sort of that wickery, the background of the wicker colour.
Ah.
Silver,
so
silvery
tricky.
grey colour. So I've sewn that piece onto there, and now I'm going to sew that onto that one.
This is one for your stripology reelers, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Your stripology will make light work of, because there's a lot of 1.5 inch strips to cut, but it will make light work of those strips.
Of course it will.
Really will.
Oh, Heidi's bought her badge as well. Oh, thank you guys. Josh will really appreciate that. I know he will. Oh, Laurie's loving the purple fabric. You've got a thing for purple, haven't you, Laurie?
That purple
think
fabric
that's
is
all right.
stunning.
Yeah.
I'm just going to trim that bit of black off because it's obviously, again, a little bit generous. So just making sure that it all sits nicely together. I'm loving these prim rotary cutters.
I'm trying to
They're
get
just
some more.
so hand friendly, aren't they?
They are, yeah. And
I
And
suppose everybody's gone mad for them because of the sewing bee, haven't they?
yeah. I've now got to
I'm
try and
just
also get hold of the
Switch
replacement.
the steam down on that.
I've got to try and get hold of the replacement blades as well because they're not
Oh,
normal
well,
blades.
they're not standard.
No.
Sometimes you feel a bit sort of, don't you, when they do that and you think,
Just make life easy.
yeah, just
Come on.
it's like a bit like your phone charger, isn't it? When every time you get a new phone, it's a different charging lead, and you're like, well, I've got a charging lead already. I don't need a new
Yeah.
charging lead.
Thanks.
Now I've got another piece of wire to stick into that drawer that's got loads of wires and batteries and pens that don't work in it.
Oh, we've had a customer review
Oh yes.
for the pink scissors. Lo says, can I also just say I love, love, love my pink scissors and the stab Jeff with a sharp spiky tool thing. Is that what we need to rename it? I thought you'd been a bit quiet there, Lo, on the website.
Poor Jeff.
Well, you know, get stuff done, doesn't it? Was it the? I'm just trying to think what you had in the end. Was it the stiletto? Is that what she's?
Yes, I think probably from the Inspirer set. Would
Yeah. Is that what you're poking poor Jeff with?
I bet Jeff could make good use of that actually with his jewellery making.
Who could? Sorry.
Jeff could probably make a use of that stiletto with his jewellery making,
Yes,
you know,
of
fine
course.
points and stuff.
Yes, of course. Oh, Sue said my great-great-grandma was known by everyone as Polly. Actually turned out it was a nickname for Mary. What? How'd you get
And
Polly from Mary?
how would you know? I mean, how would you know that?
There was kind of a thing, wasn't there, where you just sort of named your daughter after the nearest queen.
Yes.
And then I guess, you know, when you've got a room full of Catherines or Elizabeths,
Yeah, you've got to
you've got to,
differentiate them somehow.
yeah, and Mary obviously being another one, you've got to then differentiate, haven't you?
Yeah. It's like my mum is actually Kathleen. It's my dad that named her Kate. Because you go by the name Kate with your family, don't you?
I'm Natasha Kate, yeah, and if anybody that knew me before the age of 16 calls me Kate still, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a timeline thing,
Yeah.
and it does it when we first moved. When we moved, I was Kate Hunt, and I didn't really like it, and but I was Natasha Kate, and I always loved Natasha.
Yes.
So when we moved, when I was 16, I just went by my first name,
Yeah.
which used to confuse people quite a lot because they'd ring up in the old days when you used to have to ring the landline. And ask for, oh, is Natasha in? Yep, sure. Kate! Be very confusing.
Yes.
Margaret said, I always assume that Peg is for Pearl.
Oh.
But my sadly missed father-in-law said it came from Peg Leg Meg.
Oh.
He had an older sister, Meg. Margaret is a female name, derived via French, Latin Margarita, and the ancient Greek, lots of words I can't read there, from the old Parisian word for pearl.
Oh. Well, there you go.
I love Margaret. She knows everything.
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
Isn't language a wonderful thing?
Yeah.
Because all of our words are derived from some other language somewhere along the line, be it Latin, Greek, French, German.
Well, we're such a
Amazing.
mixed island, aren't we? You
Yeah.
know, there's so much that came from Latin, from the
Yeah,
Romans,
from the
and,
Romans,
and
and
the
then the
Greek, and then you've got all the
Anglo-Saxons
Saxons
coming in,
Yeah,
and
we
and
are
then the
a
Normans.
proper old
we
mishmash.
are a real.
And then a bit of French
Yeah.
popping across.
And then the Celts that are the original dwellers to start with before we were invaded by everybody.
Yeah, before all the imports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Margaret, I knew a few Mollys who were Marys. Maybe the same.
Yeah.
Polly, Molly, from the children who can't pronounce the letter M. One of my brothers called me Baggett for a while.
Nice.
Luckily, Mum wouldn't let it continue.
Yeah.
Baggett.
So that's the top block, and I've put the 15-inch sash onto the top of there.
Already?
So that's the top block made, and you can see how quickly that goes together, and it's just
Yeah,
a case of
isn't it
laying it out
beautiful?
and then keep putting your bit of sashing in and doing the next. So we'll do the bottom section, which is pretty much the same layout, but there's some measurements that are just slightly different. So C is there, and the layout obviously is a little bit different.
I don't know about bag it. I think I'd call Emily a baggage sometimes.
We've got a piece of wicker somewhere. It's there, that piece there. So that goes there. And then we've got the sashing strips, and we just need to check, just double check we've got them in the right places. That one will go against there. Just looking at that piece, that's not very well straightly cut, Jane. That's a bit off the edge. Let's get the
Well, you know,
ruler.
you might have got overexcited.
I do that. It's just really lovely to work with. There we go. It's just a slither, but it'll make all the difference in the seam allowance. So that sashing will go on there. Then we've got a small piece that will go there, and then we have the longer piece. No, that's not that one. That's the 15. Is it this one? Phew, yes, it's the right one. Get to the end, you're like,
What luck? What luck?
yeah. So again, it's just a case of sewing the two small squares together by putting the sashing on the one piece and then attaching that to the next one.
So, basically what we're saying is, this pattern could be used as a bed scarf, table runner. You could have it hanging as screens.
Yep,
You could have it on your wall as wall art,
yep.
or wall, and you know, or you can actually make it as a quilt. I mean, wow! How many quilt patterns do you get that you have that option?
There's so many options to it. I mean, it's just really versatile, excuse me.
It's rather beautiful too. It's one of those ones that you have to kind of get up close to look at,
Yes,
because there's that impact from afar,
yeah.
but you kind of want to see what the detail is in
Yes,
there.
and you want to get up close to it and have a look at it closely. And I think that's the beauty of it, and it's a beautiful pattern, but it's also the sort of pattern that might become your staple to make things for people with. You know, when
And
you've
just
got,
fill in the blanks
Yeah.
with either plain fabrics or
Or,
fabrics that go.
you know, you find
or-
a nice fabric. You know, there's nothing to stop you making it into a baby quilt. You could just make the panels shorter and use a patterned fabric
Yes.
with animals on, you know.
and
the-
have
it's a-
different things in
Yeah.
each window, effectively.
You could have really good fun with your fabrics and the designs.
And also, when we get things like the new Tilda collections or the Liberty collections, which are due in,
Yeah, it
again,
showcases the fabric
yes.
beautifully.
Because people always worry, don't they, with a new collection, what to use the big bits
Yes.
for. Well, put those in the big panels and then use the smaller pieces.
Yeah, to highlight
Yeah.
and because your collection goes beautifully with everything.
Oh, well, that's the one then, isn't it, Jane?
Yeah, you find a pattern that you love making and you find it easy to make, and it will be your go-to pattern.
Yeah.
And you will be able to use different fabrics and you know, treat it, and you will get a different effect. Using a different fabric will give you a different effect.
I think it's one of those things that you look at it and you go, yes, that is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And quilting doesn't always have to be cutting things up into really tiny pieces, does it?
Sometimes you don't want to cut it up into tiny pieces. Your fabric is so lovely that actually you want to use as big a piece as you can.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose the beautifulness of the patterns. You know, patchwork originally, when we used little pieces, was used because we only had small pieces of fabric. They were literally offcuts or leftover bits after dressmaking or whatever. You know, we didn't go out and buy fabric to make a quilt. We used what scraps we'd got left over from the shirt we'd made for our husband, the skirt we'd made for ourselves, the little dresses we'd made for our daughters. It was just fabric that was left over.
Yeah.
Really was utility things. And, you know, when you look at some of the vintage original patchwork quilts, they're just stunning. And I know people that have really studied it, and they can tell the age of the quilt by the fabric that's used in the you know, the scraps that have been used. you know, they can say, oh right, well they've started bringing in this red, this is turkey red, and this is sort of 1936 onwards type of thing, you know. And to be able to do that is just really
It's
clever.
phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an art form. Jenny said, I managed last week's Bargello in just under a week. Started
Yay,
last
well
Thursday
done.
and finished it yesterday. That's good. That's a good job
That's
there.
really good. That's really well done. So you can see I'm just layering this up, doing it bit by bit. You get the feel of how it goes together. Just double checking each time against the pattern. I'm doing this bit here on the bottom, this section.
Do you want to have a look?
So we can see that, you know, I've got the small squares there, fabric G, fabric F. I'm now going to place that one on there. And it's quite easy to see how you would join it together. You can see which bit goes against which bit quite easily. I'm going to have my hair cut this afternoon and I am so pleased.
I love your hair long.
I'm not having it cut, but it's just like, it's got, I don't know what's wrong with it at the moment, but it's coming out in handfuls. And somebody said to me, you go through stages with your hair when you do have a really good molting session with
Well,
it.
it's your spring molt.
Yeah,
Getting ready for summer, Jane.
it's driving me mad. Handfuls.
Really?
Yeah, it's so thick.
I was going to say, you'd never notice because you've got so much of it.
Yeah.
Oh, morning, John. He said, I'm very late for Stitchy Witchy Wednesdays. Morning, ladies.
Morning. Yes.
Morning. You might recognise the designer behind there. There we go. Christine's had a new sofa.
Oh,
God.
lovely.
Yeah. New curtains and cushions are good. Yeah.
Just going to trim that little bit of sashing off now because that's sticking right out.
Claire says, one of my mum's aunts was always known as Eileen. Her sister suggested it, but it was rejected by the family as it wasn't a saint's name.
Oh,
Her
right.
real name was Clara. Is there a Saint
Going to
Clara then?
Yes, I'm just looking at this and I've just turned that fabric round. One, because I like to have the little circular bit of the wicker all
Yeah.
facing the same way.
Oh, okay.
So that might be something you want to consider, or you might not care. But, you know, we all know what we're like.
Yeah.
Some of us can live with some things and some of us
Can't.
can't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Geraldine says, get your blood checked. Might be thyroid, Jane.
Oh,
Mind you, it's been a morning for things like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I trapped a muscle in my shoulder this morning and Jane went, you sure you're not having a heart attack? I'm like, I
like-
really hope not.
No.
I'd be really annoyed.
yes. We were like this. I haven't got time to be ill. Just don't need it. I'm very fit and healthy. So
Like
I've been
if
so
it
annoyed.
was diabetes with the amount of chocolate and cake I eat, I would understand that. But a heart attack would be really unfair.
Yeah.
Really unfair.
So annoyed.
I think I've just trapped a nerve because I've been trying to.
Well, and you know, it's
Yeah.
probably repetitive strain because we're constantly doing that, aren't we, when we're cutting? So this is why it does you good occasionally. It's particularly when you're quilting on a machine, just to step yourself back and roll your shoulders back and stretch
Oh.
your shoulders out.
Yeah, I've bought us a little posture standing uppy straighty machiney
Oh,
thing.
that'd be good. Sometimes I just feel like I need someone to grab my head and to grab my feet and give me a good pull, stretch me out.
Like a proper good bear hug would do
Yeah.
that, wouldn't it? Sort of shake you out a bit.
It's funny, isn't it, how we feel about these things.
Oh, Lisa's just tuned in. She says the blue one looks great. Yes, we love it. It's your design. You've done well, Lisa.
Yeah.
You've done well
The
again.
blue one looks great. Bless her.
I don't know, it's some weird woman that's got like this this really good eye for designing fabrics
colour.
and stuff. So I was talking to Lisa the other day, and we were talking about what designs she's going to bring to us, because she's going to start
Yeah.
designing more fabrics. So if any of you have got any ideas, I thought she should do a Scottish one because she wants to do around the world.
Yes.
And I thought Scottish, her eye for colour and thistles
Yes.
and things like that, could
Yeah.
you imagine, would be
A lovely Celtic
phenomenal.
style one. Yeah.
And like I could imagine, instead of the basket woven one like we've got here, Celtic knots and things like
Oh,
that. It'd be
yes.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can imagine that the thistles in the airbrush technique that
Oh, it'd be
Lisa
amazing.
using, the depth of colour would be stunning.
And then some heather. So you
Yeah.
could have heather as your ditzy.
A bit of sea holly.
I had sea holly in my. It sounds awful. We had for when we got married. We had like just a creamy bluey rose, and sea holly.
Beautiful.
And they did go into the kids. We had 2 bridesmaids and a maid of honour, and they went into the kids' bouquets so that they didn't fiddle with them too much because they're a bit spiky. So
That'll
that's fine.
stop you.
Oh, Lisa wants your jumper as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she likes your jumper.
Thank you.
I mean, we're not selling that today, Lisa. It's not. We're just doing your quilt, love. But you know,
It's probably just a supermarket special because that's where I tend to get my clothes because I haven't got time to be.
that's where we shop, isn't it? It's
Yes.
where we go.
Oh, just go and get some fruit. Oh yeah, look at that top. I'll have that as well. Right, so we've got the top and bottom block done.
Oh, hang on. Look at that.
So there we go. That's the top, and I've put the sashing on the bottom of that section of block and on the top of that one. So then I can join that to the long piece of fabric.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I love this. I don't have much red in my house, but I'm okay.
Well, you've got red in the hall. No, we haven't really, have you? I don't know why, but I feel the hall's sort of red and gold, but it isn't really.
I tell you why you think the hall's red, because it used to be red. It used to have.
Well, you've got
red,
that beautiful
thick,
they're
swirly
not quarry
carpets.
tiles, are they? But they're
Yeah, they
like
are.
a beautiful brick floor.
Oh, hang on. There are 2 ranges. This is from Lisa. Am I allowed to tell everyone, Lisa, by the way? She said you heard it here first, so, you know. There's going to be the Old Country
Oh, lovely.
and Silk Road
Oh, nice.
in early 2020 after Imperial Garden. Oh, Jane, what are you doing to us? Lisa, this is no good, is it? Jane, we're going to have... We're
We
going
just do Lisa quilts. That's all we need to do.
Yeah. I think that's okay. Well, that's a bit special. Oh, she's now just said, yeah, it's okay to share, just as well, because, you know, we've already
just did.
Just as well. If
Sorry.
you'd have said no, we'd have been in a bit of trouble. What was the other thing? What happened to your gin ideas? I'm pretty sure there was going to be like juniper or something somewhere along the line.
Yeah. And so then we're going to make sure we're just checking the direction of the fabrics, making sure we are in the right direction and attaching that to the bottom strip. And this is how you make your quilt top. You'll do your 3 strips and then you sash the 3 strips together.
We might just have to have this as a wall hanging in the hall, you know, because
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think
The
so.
hall does feel red. It used to have red velvet curtains,
Did it
red
really?
swirly carpet.
Oh my gosh.
I know
That's
it
a
was
bit overkill.
and
Because it's not a bright hall, is
no,
it?
it's
quite
very dark because it's the really old part.
low ceiling and
Yeah.
it's lovely with the big
Dark
oak door.
beams and yeah, and don't forget the really thick red velvet pelmets as well, so that even when the window was fully open, there was barely any light.
Gosh.
Yeah, I need light.
Yeah, I'm a nice. I don't at the back of our house. I don't have curtains at the windows. We're not overlooked by anyone, and they're not big windows, so I like to have. I just have them empty.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I can because I'm not overlooked. We're not overlooked by anyone. So
I didn't make it up. About the juniper. Yes, Spiceworks late this year too. So much to do. Lisa, you're not sleeping today, love. Crack on. Come on.
get on with it.
You've got a bit of drawing to do.
So I'm going to sash this now.
Ooh.
I'm going to put the
Are we
two
going to have
pieces-
this just as a wall
I think we
hanging?
can
It's
just have
one-
it as a panel.
Yeah.
So in the instructions, the length of the sashing, you sew so many lengths together, 9 strips. You sew 9 strips together, and I've done it with a 45-degree seam, and then you cut the lengths, and it's 66-inch strips. So they fit from the top to the bottom. Well,
Nice.
they should. This is where you get to the bottom and you think, oh no, I've cut this wrong. As I say, you know what you like. If you want to pin it, then, you know, pin it. You've got quite a lot of fabric here, so try and have as much of the weight of the fabric on the table so it's not going to stretch it out. It won't stretch it out because Lisa's fabric is nice and a nice weave that doesn't have any much movement to it at all. So
I think we are a bit spoilt with this, aren't we, really?
yeah,
It does spoil you for other fabrics in a way, because you suddenly start working with fabrics that normally you'd be really happy to work with. And
yeah,
it's
you're
like,
just
oh,
like,
oh, what's happening here?
yeah. Just make sure I've got the strip on. Yeah, I put one on the other day and I'd sewn it the wrong way round. I'd sewn the wrong side up, and I pressed it out and I got the seam at the front. I was like, that's
so
a lot of
easily done.
unpicking.
Yes, there's no two ways around
No,
it, is there?
no, there isn't.
No.
So yeah, just double check that you've got it right sides together before you start sewing. And if you do pin it, and probably for a length of fabric this length, you probably would be better to pin it.
Says Jane, just going for it.
Just going for it.
So it's the two sides and then top.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you sew all your sashing strips between your panels. So I actually sewed the middle panel. I sewed the 2 sashing strips to the middle panel.
Right.
And then sewed the left hand and then the left hand and then the right hand. Just again, it's how I work. I don't like to have too much weight dragging.
I'm just giggling because of your left hand
Yeah.
and right hand situation.
Yeah, wipe on, wipe off. I can't remember which is my left and my right. I do when I'm driving, I promise.
But when we were on a walk the other day and I was trying to point things out to Freddie, I was like, oh, look over there, to the left. And of course he looks right. I was like, no, other left. And it's just what it's known as in our house. So if he doesn't get left or right the first time round, we just go, no,
The other one.
one.
The other one.
Bless him.
He's a star.
He
was so made up, wasn't he, this morning? Because I said to him, right, well, I need a cupcake this morning for my breakfast. I'd had my breakfast, but and then I said, I'll need one with my lunch, so that's 2 cakes, and then I need to take some home for tea, so I want 8 for tea. And he looked at me, and we worked out how much the price was for that. And he was so pleased with himself because he knows his 2 times table, so he was able to work that out.
He was very excited, and he.
Oh, and he said, what did he say to you?
Look, it's amazing. Look how much money we've made from just the 5 of us this morning. As he sent Emily off to look for either money out of her piggy bank or where Daddy leaves his coins.
They soon work out where Daddy leaves those coins, don't they?
Absolutely. That is mainly what goes into their piggy bank.
Yeah.
But
just hoover it up without him noticing.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm sure I had more change than this.
What did Emily say to me? That, Mummy, I need more of your money. I'm like, oh great, you're
Yeah,
2.
she came in the other day, didn't she? She's got something that she was putting money in, and she's just turned to you and she said, I need more of your money. She was like, yeah, I need more of my money too.
Yeah. Thanks, Ems. That's fine. Yeah, she's got it sorted, hasn't she?
Yeah,
She's only 2, wandering around,
Yeah.
just
Bank of
gathering
mother.
cash. But she did. She came back with her 20p for her cupcake
Brilliant.
and was so excited.
That's really good because she knows the money, which one it was that she needed.
Yep. I think Freddie might have helped her.
Yeah, well, that's what big brothers are for, aren't they?
Yeah, the last time he tried to help her with a piggy bank, the horn of her unicorn came off her piggy bank.
Oops.
I've got to do that. Christine says, great demo, Jane Alcock, Natasha McCarthy.
Thank you.
Off to go crazy with children.
Ooh.
Okay, at lunchtime.
Well, that's what you have to do.
I mean, okay.
Going crazy with children.
Enjoy that.
That's compulsory, is it not?
I think so. Geraldine says, ask my hubby how I have turned left when he says right and vice versa. I do it all the time. I'm left-handed, so my brain works differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I found my ladies that were left-handed did foundation paper piecing really easy. They picked it up really quickly because you're sort of working in reverse. But my left-handed,
I can't get my head around it.
I mean, I love foundation paper piecing. It's how I learnt to do patchwork in the first place, so it's sort of second nature to me. But teaching it is quite difficult to explain to people because you're sort of working back to front and upside down. But I found that my ladies that were left-handed picked it up really quickly.
Well, I'm just trying to think. John. Oh, John Conmorgan. You're in on Monday. Are you foundation paper piecing on Monday? Because that's, you've just reminded me. Because he's in.
Oh, is it? John's
Yeah,
Monday?
yeah. Because we're getting towards the last Monday of the month is actually a bank holiday, so I didn't think that was fair.
No.
So he is going to come up this coming Monday.
Have you got a designer interview on Bank Holiday Monday?
I'm working on it.
Ooh.
I've got someone who has agreed to do it. It's just whether or not he's got enough broadband at the moment. Well, here's the big hint, because he's gone back to Dorset.
Oh, can't have everything. Can't have beautiful countryside and broadband.
I know. So, I mean, that's just the biggest hint for those of you that know. And so, yeah, it's all agreed. I've just got to do a bit of research and make sure they've got broadband. What could possibly
I
go
was
wrong?
digressing then because you were talking to John and saying what we're doing.
Oh yeah, John, are you FPPing on Monday? I know he said he's got a beautiful bag. He's very excited about
All
that
right,
him and
good.
Becky Alexander Frost have been doing.
Lovely.
And then next Friday is of course our designer takeover day.
Yes.
And we have got Jo Carter back in with some of her toys.
How exciting.
She's been working really hard on a design. I'm very excited for her. She's been really working hard on a design. And there are so many of you that have become grandparents or, great aunts or whatever over lockdown and what have you. I think you're going to like it.
Lovely.
You're going to like it. Oh, Christine says, I said, Bagsy, any money found on the old sofa?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, has her husband began to saw it up the other night? What was sawing it up?
Oh my
my
gosh.
goodness. You know, like the Greyhound charities will take it, Christine, for the Greyhounds. Oh, she couldn't understand how they got it in there in the first place. Oh, that's fair enough. She says, and if she finds any in Gary's pockets when washing his work trousers, she keeps that too. That's the law. I think that's fair enough.
That's laundry. Yeah, that's
That's just the laundry fairies, right? Because generally it's like tissues, so there's got to be some perks, isn't there?
That's right.
Oh, Alison says, you've just given me an idea. Cows and castles, one of each colourway in each long panel with the other complementary colours in the small blocks. Yes. She says, my sister-in-law loves Highland cows and this would be perfect for her.
It would, that'd be lovely.
Absolutely.
Stunning.
Oh, John's gone for lunch.
Oh,
A bit early for lunch, John. What you doing? Oh, well, maybe he'll tell us later.
Can't go for lunch. How dare he?
How very
Unless
dare,
he's
it's not
been-
lunchtime.
Unless he's being taken out, I suppose. Are you being treated, John? Is somebody taking you out for
I
lunch?
don't know, he's gone for lunch. We'll never go find
We'll never
he's
find
not
out.
there. He's not there. 11 and he's gone. Actually, do you know what? I could do a lunch right
Yeah,
now.
but it's lunchtime for you. I mean, you've been up since goodness knows what time this morning.
Oh, hello. Sue says, was directing husband driving and told him to turn left at the lights and he promptly turned right. When I asked what he'd done that for, he said, oh, you meant my other left. You see, the other left is a thing. It is a thing. Yeah. But being the person he was, refused to turn around and blindly hoped that he could just make it up as he went along.
That's typical.
And
isn't
hoped
it?
he'd finally get to the right place.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will get there eventually. All roads lead to Rome.
There was a thing, wasn't there, at one point where they realised that men didn't listen, and this is a sweeping generalisation, so
Yes,
I do
of course it
apologise.
is.
But when sat-navs first came out, the men just didn't listen to the female voice of the sat-nav.
No. Well, we have ours, and sometimes she'll tell us to do something, and if we know where we are and we're like, why is she making us go that way? And Glenn's like, she's been on the gin again. It's like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all
Just
good.
ignore her. So I've got the 2 side panels on, and if I'd done the other panels, I would then be joining those, because this is the middle panel, I'd be joining those on. I'm just going to trim these down. I obviously can't measure the, and it's fine as long, you know, to trim it down. It's better to trim it down than have get to the end and think, oh, hang on, that wasn't right, and I've got to add some more on. And what you would do then, once you've got the 2 side panels on, you would add another piece of sashing either side of the side panels, and there's nothing to stop you putting those on before you join them to the middle one, whichever way you want to do it.
Doesn't it look different in red?
Doesn't it? And then I've just cut a piece of sashing to go at the top and bottom here. You will have a longer piece because it will fit the 3 panels.
Yeah, of course. Oh, this is super good. You know what I'm going to ask you to do in a minute? That's just hold it up against the blue one so you can see the difference.
It's really opulent, this colourway. I think the blue one is lovely, fresh and light. And this one is really rich and warm.
Yeah, Lisa's loving it in the golden red. Yeah, oh, there we go. Geraldine says, my hubby turns the sound off the sat-nav and wonders why we get lost. Well, I mean, yeah. When we lived in Cornwall, we had to rely on sat-nav quite a lot. And I think when we first moved down there, and I have to say, I think that sat-nav was as confused about the Cornish roads as the rest of us, to be fair.
It's when you've got a sat-nav that you've had quite a while and you go to somewhere that's got new roads and it doesn't recognise the road and it just puts the arrow in the middle of nowhere and you're like, where am I now? Recalculating, turn back at the nearest opportunity, and you're like, I'm on the road.
One of the very early sat-navs, and it obviously its calibration must have been slightly out, but I do remember driving along. I can't remember even why I had it on at that point because it was Seaford. And, you know,
you knew where you were going.
I used to live in Seaford. I went to school in Seaford. You know, it just... But it had me driving in the sea. I was just driving along the seafront. I'm like, no.
No, I don't think I want to do that. Thank you.
No. But obviously, you know, the navigation had just got me out slightly. So, you know, I like my little sciencey podcasts, Jen,
yes,
that I listen to when I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Last night's was, well, there was a lot of it was about the core of the Earth.
Oh, I bet that was interesting.
Well, yeah, because bearing in mind that we can only drill down like 10 kilometres, but it's something like 6,000 kilometres to the centre of the Earth.
Yeah.
And so they don't really know. They just have to use different waves and stuff to try and work out what the middle is actually made of, and work out the gravity. Anyway. But then due north isn't due north.
Oh.
Well, it changes.
Oh.
Because it's moving slightly. And this is all due to, it blows my mind.
Because the Earth is moving constantly.
Well, but
rotating.
The core is sort of moving slightly, which then offsets the, because obviously it's the magnetic pull of the iron from the core in the middle.
Yes.
I mean, bearing in mind I listened to this at like 2 o'clock this morning, so I might be off slightly, but because it changes to that extent, on the runways of the airports, they have different letters and numbers to say which is due north, and they actually have to repaint them on the airports as due north changes.
Oh, wow.
I was
Isn't
like,
that fascinating?
no.
Isn't that fascinating?
These weird and wonderful things that you find. That's really weird. So it is actually a thing.
Crazy.
So I forgive my sat-nav for putting me in the sea.
Yes. Because the Earth had moved slightly.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that clearly that was a day that it had moved a bit.
We went to Italy and took our sat nav with us because it was in those days when you had a separate sat nav, not like integrated in your car.
Yeah.
And we were messing around with it and we put it in Italian. That was funny because we didn't understand what she was saying, but it was interesting to listen to her give us directions in Italian.
Great excuse to get lost.
Yeah.
Margaret says, my car came with a built-in sat-nav with choice of male or female. We call my sat-nav Nev because the female voice was so incredibly annoying. I remember my next-door neighbour setting off their sat-nav, and this was when you could change the icon.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. And they had a turkey that drove them all the way to Devon and drove her husband absolutely mad, but the kids thought it was hilarious.
Fabulous.
That is gorgeous.
Look at that, isn't that lovely? So, you know, you can see how quickly I put that middle panel together, so it's not going to take you long to get the other panels done and sew those together.
That is just stunning.
Just take your time with
different?
take your time with the cutting. Just think about your cutting and label it. That's the biggest thing I can say to you. Take your time with your cutting and label each piece so you know which piece goes where. Because Lisa has set the pattern up so that it fits together like a jigsaw. It will only fit together one way.
Amazing.
But yeah, I mean,
Just stunning.
This pattern is such a transferable design.
Do you know, I also think with the different colourways as well, if you've got various offspring and you
Yes.
want to do same but different,
Yes. Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
this is the perfect one.
Yeah, because it does look different, doesn't it, in a
Yeah.
different colourway.
Oh, it really does.
The richness of the reds against that lovely, cool, bright lightness of the blues.
So Lisa's popped in some purple, so we can offer the purple one up as
Oh,
well. So that'll
lovely.
be here in about just over a week.
Oh,
so if you love this and you want it in a third colourway,
yeah, because we've got the purple. It's like the red. It's the purple. It's the background colour, and it's got the golds with it. Yeah, it's lovely. The purple one.
Lo says that Jeff Satnav always asks, "Do you want to start rude guidance?" He asked if I set that up. Can't imagine why. Can't imagine why.
There we go. So yeah, that's today's quilt done.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Geraldine says it's been a while since the earth moved for her.
Oh, bless.
Oh, bless you. Oh, yes, and John says, yes, he is foundation paper piecing on Monday.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, there you go. And Geraldine also says that she is in love with the quilt and her resistance is fading fast. And Susan said that hers evaporated about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, bless.
There we go.
That's lovely.
Pam says the amazing Stitchy Witchy has done it again. Lisa's fabrics are fabulous.
They are, and Lisa's patterns are fabulous too. Easy to follow, very straightforward. You can't go wrong, really. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Seriously beautiful.
Layer cake project next week.
Layer cake project?
Yes. I'm coming up with a pattern for a layer cake.
Oh, is that why you were sending us blocks asking us which one we like?
Yes.
I didn't reply because I like them both.
Well,
Couldn't
I like them
choose.
both, which is why I couldn't choose. But we're going with the second one. Because that was
Block
the one,
B.
yeah, that was the one that most people liked.
Okay, excellent.
Wonderful.
Good. John says that he loves Joe Carter. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just out there. Yeah,
that's
general,
a statement. That's
yeah.
a fact. There's
He's
no
looking forward to
question.
that show. Oh yeah, but the other thing is that he's doing his bag and the block 3,
Yes.
but also with the bag, I think it is a gardener's delight.
Ooh.
I think that's. Am I allowed to say?
You
I'm
said
allowed
it.
to say that. I mean, I'm just saying everything, aren't I, this morning? Lisa says it works with butterflies too.
Oh yes, can you imagine?
Well, it would do, Lisa, if we had some butterflies, but we've sold them all, so
yeah, they've all gone.
we might need.
We've got a little bit, but not enough to make the pattern with.
some more of those. Soz
Yeah.
about that. I know it should be like, oh, come on. Yeah, make one quilt with 3 colours. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to stop you doing a different panel. Keep the sashing the same, but use different fabrics in the panels.
Oh, here we go. John's, he says, my lunchtime at my fave place. I do it super early so I don't see other people. It's getting people out there.
Yeah, it is.
It is getting people
Yeah.
out there. I
Yeah.
can't, yeah. He says, just me and my buddies in the restaurant. It's heaven.
We were saying, weren't we, like, you don't have to wear your mask. Some people are saying, well, you don't necessarily have to wear your mask now. And I'm like, I'm keeping my mask on for a while yet.
Oh, yeah, especially
Yeah.
as there's so
Yeah.
people out there.
Lots of people.
Smarfs. Just stock up on your
Yeah.
Smarfs because when they're gone, they're gone. This is the last push on the Smarfs.
They are on such a bargain. You could get one for every outfit.
Well, you know, yeah,
Why
but
not?
there's no point in having them sitting there.
No.
If they can go and do some good, I would rather the few that we have left just went.
Yeah.
And that you guys that have supported us are the recipients of that,
Yes.
you know. Lo wants to know, is Joe designing a stiletto wearing aardvark?
That could be interesting.
I mean, it's possible, but I'm not going to commit. Marilyn would like to make 6 panels and do it for a double bed.
Easily done. You'd have to buy 2 quilt kits, but yeah.
But that's easy enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I love all of this. Good.
Wonderful. I love
Have
listening to other
restaurants
people's
opened up
ideas.
yet?
Pardon?
Restaurants opened up yet?
Yes, you're allowed to eat inside now.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you've been allowed to eat outside, but obviously the
Well,
lovely
it's done nothing but rain.
April, May
Great.
weather we've had so
Yeah.
far hasn't been really
Conducive to
conducive to that style of eating. So yeah, but now they've opened it up so you can go inside.
that. See, this just
And now
goes
we're
to
going to
show,
have a
doesn't
heat
it?
wave, so yeah.
Amazing. So everyone will want to be outside.
Yeah.
This is
We
my
love the
exact
British
point.
weather.
I have a 2-year-old. Lockdown made no difference to
No.
me. I'm home anyway
Yeah.
with a 2-year-old. It's
I
fine.
just found out I'm not particularly sociable. My life hasn't changed very much at all.
It's great. Here we go. Yeah, you see, now Claire says, scarf or not, they're still useful as a stylish scarf.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely,
And
they
do
are.
keep you warm.
Very beautiful with that. And yeah, John has his smarf at the ready as well. Who are modelling your smarfs other than you and Jane? There's Gemma, there's SJ, there's Josh. John
Yeah.
was going to send us a photo of him and his smarf, but I don't know if he ever did.
No.
He had one of the beautiful Moda floral
Oh,
ones.
did
They were
he?
really lovely. So yeah, there we go. Basically, anyone that we could pop in a
Yeah.
smarf, we did.
Team makes an Inga. Is Inga on our?
I don't know if Inga did.
No, I don't think she did.
I
did
think she managed to escape that one.
Mm.
I don't know how, but there we go.
I did mine quickly while I wasn't really thinking about it. I was like, yeah, quickly do it and then forget it. Don't even look at the picture, just send it.
You look lovely in yours, I have
do
to say.
It's a lovely scarf. Smarf.
Lo says, if I stopped wearing a mask, I would have to do a full face of makeup. There is that.
There is that, yeah. You can get away, can't you, just doing your eyebrows and your mascara and
Yeah.
you're done for the
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, if you're someone that needs a little facial wax,
Yeah.
masks are an absolute joy for that
Definitely.
as well. You know, made myself another 4 the other day, said Jenny, as we start to go out more. So I have 6 now. See, that's almost one for every day of the week.
Yeah.
And one's always in the wash.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's brilliant.
Yeah. See, I like a scarf, so then
Yeah. Keep your
I'm
neck
keeping all
warm.
mine. I'm
Definitely,
keeping all
I
mine.
shall be using mine.
But yeah, guys, grab yourself a bargain. They are on the website, £5 each, just so that they can be cleared and gone. And then,
Gives us more warehouse space to fill with fabric.
yay! You know, yeah, that. Alrighty then, you lovely lot. Take care. Monday is John.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Bag and block of the month. Super.
Bag and block of the month, which is fabulous. Tuesday, probably me.
Let's hope so.
I mean, yeah, it is Natasha
Natasha
makes,
makes,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, probably me. So I'll think of something.
Yeah.
There we go.
Lovely.
I have lots of ideas in my new book of ideas.
Wonderful.
Yes. Jane, thank you so much.
You're
and thank you
welcome.
everybody for watching and supporting us as ever. You are all fabulous. And if you enjoyed the show, please like and share. Hurrah. Take care. Give us a wave. Lots of love.
See you next time.
Bye.